Hello and welcome to the Cantilever Chat, your unofficial home of all things Warrington Town. Today I'm joined with Josh, Oscar, James. How are you doing, fellas?
We're doing great,
Yeah,
mate.
not too
Doing
bad.
great.
Brilliant. So last time we were here we beat Scarborough 1-0. Oscar's favourite game.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Yeah, let's
Won't be
carry on.
allowed back.
Yeah.
So Lancaster were after that. Awful performance really, but we were saved by a Tony Gray screamer. Josh and Oscar, you were there. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, as you mentioned there, it was kind of a dull game. Nothing was really going on. They kind of got their goal through luck, through the run of play. And I personally thought it was going to be a draw anyway. I thought it was going to be a 0-0. And then they scored, so then I'd say we saw a bit of urgency in the last 15 minutes. Like the players wanted to salvage something from it. And then we saw that we were chucking all men in the box trying to get that last goal. And then luckily we got that free kick. And then, yeah, Tony Gray just smashed it in.
Well, it seemed like we only came alive when we went down to 10 men.
Exactly, which was 10 men. The red card, I don't know if that was really a red card. I thought...
What did they do? Kick the ball at
Yeah,
someone?
kick the ball, but I wouldn't put it as the same extent as, let's say, Ashley Williams to Robin Van Persie. But, you know, I'd personally give him a booking. But, you know, the referee thought it was a sending off offence. And, yeah, as James just said there, we carried on from there. We showed real urgency, and then Tony Gray just got that screamer, and then, yeah, the rest is history.
I think most of us missed the red card, didn't we? I think
Exactly.
Me and you missed it. I think the assistant coach missed it. And I think Tony Gray missed it, didn't he? When we were doing post-match interviews. So it was a strange one just to see a red card go up. We didn't know what it was for.
Who got sent off again?
It was Adam Hughes. It was a bit petulant, in all honesty, kicking the ball at someone. I think the fact that he turned away as soon as he'd done it, he knew that he was going to get sent off. But what he's done is given Alex Whittle, he's given him the chance to step into the team, and I think he's been quality since his step back in team. You can't see a way at the minute, apart from injuries, where Adam Hughes would get back in there.
Do you think it'll be a bit of the case like Adam Carden? He got sent off and we haven't seen him in the team since. Do you think it could be that kind of...
Yeah, well, he's just come back into full recently, but I think that was more to do with the fact that we've got a lot of strength in depth at right back. Obviously, we've had Mitch, who's played a lot of games. Evan Gums came in and played a couple of games there.
Sure.
I think Adam Carden's kind of one of those players he'll fill in when needed, and he's been very good when he's come on in the last couple of games, and I think, but he's never really going to be a starter. He's always going to be sort of on the fringes and kind of is there not only for the coaching and helping Paul, but kind of stepping in as and when needed.
So it wasn't the case the game after. Josh, me and you were there at the Grantham game. It's all about Josh Amis, isn't it?
It was the Josh Amis show.
Big up.
Lancaster was a bit disappointing. It was, I think the last time Warrington had a 0-0 full-time result was back in like early sort of October, I think, maybe against Bamber Bridge, I think I read. So talking about that one, I never thought it would finish 0-0. They got lucky though at the end. Well, not lucky, I suppose it was a bit of magic from Gray. But then the next week it looked like a completely different side. And Josh Amis on form, who thought he'd scored the perfect hat-trick, apart from obviously Mr. James Messenger over there, who actually called it.
I did.
He called a goal. I don't think he did call a hat-trick.
I think according to get two. I didn't think
Yeah.
he had a left foot, but you know now at least now we know he can finish regardless of position. I think he's Warrington's best striker at the minute. He's banging form. 6 goals in 5 is it? There's no
10 goals for the season.
10 goals exactly. There's no one else who's kind of better than him at the minute. I think you can, if you look at pictures of him now compared to a few weeks ago, he looks a different player. I think Paul Carden alluded to it as well. His body transformation is huge. He's lost a few of the pounds. He's put a bit of muscle on, and he's looking a lot more imposing up top.
Oscar, I know you're a big fan of him yourself with the way he plays. What are your thoughts?
Nah, Amis, but when we first started this, he was a bit on and off, didn't really show, let's say, the quality as Gray and that. But in this past month, he's turned up. As I said, he came off the bench and scored 2 at the beginning of the month of January. Then he scored a hat-trick, and he even scored on the weekend against Gainsborough. So
Well remembered.
he's definitely shown up, and it's you could kind of tell that he's kind of got a bit of pace, as James mentioned earlier. James Messenger, as he mentioned earlier about how he's shed a few of the pounds, so it's kind of telling. And of course, good for him. He's getting the goals, and that's helping us trying to get to that first spot and winning that title.
I think it's just a different option he offers, doesn't he? He's his only big man, really. Bourne Dixon is a big man, but he doesn't play that way.
He's more of a
technical player. And you've got like Conor McCarthy and Tony Gray, who are better on the feet, better finishers. James, what do you think of his striking options?
I think the Conor McCarthy and Josh Amiss are both good from close range, but I think they do offer something different. I think Conor McCarthy's more of a poacher, so he's the guy who's waiting in the 6-yard box, waiting to not tap him, but he's waiting for the chance to his feet, whereas Josh Amiss can drop deep, he can head the ball, bring his teammates into play, and then, as we're seeing, I think he's Warrington Town's best header up top, because if he gets a chance with his head, full well it's going in. It doesn't matter who they're playing, it doesn't matter what's happening. He always finds that space, and I think when we went to the Farsley game just after New Year, I think he really showed that. He's got good aerial prowess, and he's starting to really add to his goal tally now.
Josh, do you think it could be a danger if we're heavily reliant on Amiss that we might revert to that long ball style tactic?
I don't know, because he's been performing well. So, trying to think back to the Gainsborough, I'm trying to think of the goal he scored at Gainsborough. That was a header, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was a cross, and then he just got ahead of his defender and just nodded it in.
But then didn't he graze the post as well just before that? I think Paul said.
So like a low-driven shot, and then.
I wouldn't really say we're long ball football, because you look at that Gainsborough game, 4 different goal scorers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At least now we've got players all over the pitch who are chipping in.
So it's a bit more being direct.
I think possibly at Lancaster it was sort of long ball.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what it didn't work out. I think they tried the long ball, they tried it, and it never worked out.
So just a quick question for you. If you had everyone fit, who would you take up front? Who would be your starting striker?
Man, that's a tough one, because for me, I see Gray as kind of like a number playing behind the striker. So really, it's out of Amiss or McCarthy.
Yeah.
But I'd probably take Amiss. He's a real threat in the box, and then by him putting so much pressure on the defenders, that means it leaves space for Tony Gray to come in and do all the little tricky stuff.
Yeah, he's deceptively quick as well, I think, Josh Amiss. And I think the fact that he can get in behind, that kind of frees up the space for Tony Gray to have those pockets. And I think he plays better when he's got those pockets of space, because he's allowed to roam, he can play the passes. He's got, what was it, on Saturday, goal and an assist. So you know that when he's given time and space, he can finish, and he's devastating.
Paul alluded to calling Bourne Dixon one of the league's best earlier in the season. Where did he think he's?
I don't know. He's sort of gone off the boil a little bit. I don't know. I wouldn't call him on the best in the league. He's a good option, I think. In terms of the system we're playing now, Tony Gray starts, and you've got Bowen kind of as a reserve, but you've also got Dylan who can play there. I think Bowen plays well when he's got kind of similar to Tony when he's got the space, but I think when Bowen's been playing, he's not had that space. So that maybe he's not got the time that he would like to play his natural game. So maybe he's getting isolated off the ball. There's a game just before Christmas where there were 2 men on him all the time, and when he's got 2 men marking him, full well he's not going to have the space and time to do what he wants.
Josh, do you know, for his attacking threat, do you think it's helped us being out of the cup competitions because we've got a week in between games so we can stick to a same lineup?
Yeah, you have noticed the difference between at the start when we've covered Tuesday nights and then Saturdays. You could see that some performances dropped because obviously they're playing twice a week. So sometimes attacking form did drop, and since it's just been Saturdays, they've scored plenty of goals and conceded even less. I think it's 19. I think they've conceded in the league now, so not even just attack. I mean, defence is just as important. So I think this getting out of the cup, as weird as it sounds, has probably benefited the side in the hope for promotion push.
How important do you think it is having Roberts and Raven at the back to keep that solidarity?
They have been solid, absolutely solid. But Oscar pointed out that unfortunately sometimes you can tell that mistakes coming, and I'm sure you're going to Gainsborough soon. But that's exactly what happened for Gainsborough. It should have been a clean sheet, apart from just a miscommunication at the back. But apart from that, they're pretty reliable. As I said, they've conceded, I think, 19 goals now, including the one at Gainsborough. So you can't go. You can trust them at the back. And since Tony Mack's been back, he's been brilliant. Conceded very few. And
been very good.
Yeah, very strong in front of his net.
But then I think that the good thing about at the moment is that if we have got those individual errors creeping in, we know full well that we're going to score more than them. We've been free scoring recently. 7 goals in our last 2 games. now we've got Hednesford this weekend coming up, and that could be another chance. Obviously, you don't count your chickens in this league, but you've got the chance to add a few more and really build some momentum before South Shields.
Just going back to games like Josh mentioned there, we eased to a 4-1 win. Dylan Vassallo, Tony Gray, Josh Amis and Dunn getting all the goals. What did you make of that performance, Oscar?
Oh, it was a good performance. Not to like belittle the Gainsborough side, but you wouldn't expect they were 6th before that.
They did not look like a side that had just been relegated from the Conference North, did they?
Nah,
To be fair, I think they were a bit injury hit as well.
Because they had like 5 players out and they had a lot of teens on the bench.
Yeah, we were talking to the media man. He said there was about 4 or 5
Yeah.
18-year-olds on the bench, didn't he?
But like, to be fair, yeah, back to us, we were good. As we said, for me, Tony Gray in the first half, he was playing magnificent. He was picking up the ball in these tight spots and then like dishing it out to the wingers like Vassallo and Dunn, and he skinned. I think their centre mid. It was Clark.
Did he send him to the shops?
No, he sent him. He sent him to the shops a few times with a few trickeries, and then after that, then the second half it was like the Amish show. He comes on, starts bullying the defenders, and nah, man, I thought it was just a well-rounded performance. Obviously, the goal I wouldn't say messed it up, but.
Do you think that performance proves that we are right up there and the title challenge is definitely on?
Definitely. I'd say, I think that performance, even though they're 6th in the league, we kind of showed to the rest of the league that no matter who you are, kind of, on our day, we can make it out with the best of you. So if we just carry on with performances like that, who knows?
Just coming on to that game, Josh, do you think Ben Gordon got sent off? Do you think it was sending off?
Like Lancaster, sort of missed it. It was something that has crept into the Warrington game is it's very physical. And at the start, I used to think it was always the opposition's team, but there seems to be some sort of correlation between Warrington Town games and physicality.
Yeah,
and there has been a few red cards recently. From what we heard, it was a raised hand. And, we talked to their media guy. He was convinced that, the player made a meal of it and he fell down. But if the ref sees a hand to the face and the player goes down, then he's got no other choice, has he, to go down. So I think if you're them, you'd be disappointed. But at that point, I think they were already 4-0 down. So actually, the red card actually boosted them because that's when they actually scored one. Yeah. So if anything, it was their only positive of the day.
And it's quite interesting as well, talking about the physicality. It's good us being a physical team, but we've got kind of the intricacy to match it. We've got the quality so that, yes, we've got that physical aspect. You look at our midfield, we have like Ben Garrity, Sean Beale, you've got them who can really be physical presences, but then you look at the skillful players, we've got the likes of Dylan Vassallo, we've got Jack Dunn, Tony Gray, all these players, given time and space, and they will punish you. So I think going into this week, I won't be surprised if we don't make any changes. I wouldn't, even though we've got Robbie Evans on the bench, who's obviously a bit more refreshed. I personally wouldn't take Sean Beale or Ben Garrity out. They look to be blossoming into a nice partnership now, and I think the last thing we need before a big game against South Shields is to switch it up, lose that momentum, maybe draw that game, because at the end of the day, as much as Paul Carden and the coaching team don't want to admit it, they say it's a game at a time. South Shields is season defining for us.
That's it.
That if we lose that, then I don't think we'll finish top.
Just a quick note on very controversial. Just a quick note on Jack Dunn. Since he came back from his loan from Widnes, he's been great, hasn't he, on that left wing?
I've got the start pairing. Tony Gray got my man of the match in the match report from Gainsborough, but Jack Dunn actually got the fans man of the match. So
that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, score 1, assist 1, just like Tony Gray, and he played really well. I thought.
He did. Yeah.
He sometimes don't get the credit that he deserves. Obviously, we've given him a lot of plaudits, but when you've got the likes of Josh Amiss who's banging for, and you've got Tony Gray getting the goals, you sometimes forget about the players like Dunn, the ones who, when they're given time and space, they create the chances, but sometimes they don't grab the headlines. But I think he's been arguably one of our best players. We've not had a weak link this season over the last few months, but I think he's been one of the shining lights.
Definitely. Hednesford, like you said again, this weekend. Could it be another case of Lancaster though, Oscar?
Say that again, sorry?
Hednesford this weekend. Could it be another case of Lancaster where we just don't turn up somewhat?
No, I feel like...
He's listening now.
Sorry, that for a bit. But, I feel like... But due to the performance that we had last week, I feel like the boys will be going into the game with so much confidence. with players like Gray, Amis. Amis is probably he's probably the most informed striker in the league. I don't know about the rest of the other teams, but he probably
Let's
is.
just go with that. Yeah.
He probably is. So he's going to be buzzing. The team, everywhere around the pitch, everyone's doing well. So everyone will be buzzing.
What's the chant, James?
Yeah, go on. Sing it, please.
Go on, Josh. You know it.
no,
I actually don't know.
Go on.
He scores with his left. He scores with his right. His name's Josh Amos. I guess he's all right. I
What,
want
you
to
gonna
hear
sing?
that. I want to hear that. I want to hear that being sung in the Cantilever bridge end. If that's not trending on Twitter, I'll be very disappointed.
So, Josh, what do you think of the head in this game? Score?
Me and James went to when the can't think what their ground is called, but we travelled away with Warrington.
Oh, of course we lost that game, didn't we?
Blinking freezing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was freezing cold. It was a disaster of a day, I think, because even trying to get to the stadium was a pain because there was building houses around the stadium.
Oh,
so
crashing into barriers left, right, and
And then
centre.
a car tried and pulled up in front of us, and then from there it was terrible.
Maybe it's all those delaying tactics. The car was probably on the headness with players, just like trying to.
Yeah,
a little bit
it
of
just
delayed
didn't- Warrington
tactics.
just didn't turn up on the day, but I think you said they lost quite a few of their players now.
Yeah, I think the manager's gone. A lot of the players have gone. They're essentially a different team now, and I think you can tell by the results. They had a few quite quality players. I think it was maybe Daniel Sweeney, I think his name was. He was up front. I'm not sure if he's still with them now, but he looked like he was a class above everyone else on that pitch when we played them, and I think it'll be an interesting game. I think that I can't see us producing another performance like we did against a 1-0 against with Lancaster. I reckon that's kind of a once a season performance where where you've got everyone who has a bad day. There wasn't really someone who shone in that match, but then you can't see that happening again, especially when there's 15 games left of the season. We need to make sure we're winning at least 10, if not 12, 13, if we want a chance of winning this league.
So, quick go around for score predictions of the game on Saturday. Josh?
2-0 Warrington.
Who scores?
Tony Gray and it's got to be Josh, hasn't it?
Oh, James?
I'm going to say 3-0. So I'm going to
I
say,
agree.
yeah, I'm going to say Tony Gray will get 1 and Josh Amiss will get 2.
I agree. I'd say Josh Amish 2, and then probably Jack Dunn will probably just sneak in with a goal.
Personally, I think it could be an edgy 1-0.
An edgy 1-0?
Josh Amiss. Josh Amiss
Have
on
you
the
seen
side.
us
Yeah,
play
but like
recently?
I
We're
see-
classmate.
I don't know, it's just that Lancaster result. I don't know. It's
Well, like
in
the
the
Bar-
back
But
of my
that
mind,
was
like-
literally just a one-off. If-
Not saying you don't seem more like the Barcelona of the Evo Stick Premier now.
It was a terrible day because it was raining, wasn't it?
No,
Freezing cold,
I think
very
I think even the players, it was too cold. It was
Yeah.
rainy. I think even the players are like, nah, not
Yeah,
today.
not
I think
that weren't
that's why-
feeling it.
I think that's why I got a red card just so we can get the drive.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah.
We've got 2 massive games after that, of course, South Shields and Nantwich. We're level on points with South Shields at the minute. Beat them 3-0 in the first game, but they've not lost the game at home, so...
That's just going to be, as I said before, it's going to be season defining. If we lose that, I think South Shields will then go on and win the league, because you look at them, we're top of the league now, but they've got a game in hand on us. So I think we can't really afford to go 3 points behind and with them having another game in hand.
A point would definitely be a great result, wouldn't it?
I'd take a point right now, but Paul Carden's said it time and again. He doesn't settle for 0-0s. I think we'll have a real go at them.
That's the only way to go.
Exactly, it is
Yeah.
the only way to go. We need to get, because I think a lot of teams have seen that they've won every game this season. They've gone there, they've been on the back foot. But I remember reading from their last home game against Whitby, and Whitby went at them straight away, and they got a goal within 2 minutes. And then the game turned around. I think it's 5-2 in the end to South Shields, but that was mainly because Whitby got a sending off after 20 minutes.
Okay.
So if we go at them, they are vulnerable. They concede a few, and we've got a rock solid defence that can hopefully keep them out. The free scoring, but we've got the defence to match it, I think.
Oscar, do you think it's definitely a title defining?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if we beat them, that's kind of sending a message to the rest of the league saying, oh, we've broken this remarkable record that they're on. So that will kind of give us that confidence saying we can beat anyone.
And teams will be scared of playing us as well. If we
Especially
beat
at
South
their-
Shields, teams will be petrified of coming to the fortress that is Cantilever Park.
If we're beating the best club in the league with the best home side, then we're definitely gonna be, when people think, oh, Warrington Town, they're gonna be like, okay, all right, we've got to bring our A game. So
Yeah, starting to think about it a bit more. And
definitely.
we also know that South Shields, they drop points on the road because they're not the greatest on the travels. You know that a couple of maybe cold midweek away games, you know that they're vulnerable to trip up. Obviously, everyone is in this league, but the fact that they've won, I think it's 13 out of 13, So it's what's that? 39 points at home, and they've only got 59 total. So 20 points on the road this season in 13 games? It's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not even 2 points a game, and that's more or less what you need to get promoted.
So this will be the last podcast before that game. So we'll go for predictions of this. Well, Josh.
That's a tough question. I don't know. I can't.
Is it a head or a heart situation?
2-2.
Yeah.
Oh,
2-2.
2-2.
James.
Go on.
Oh,
Go on.
my heart says.
You won that win.
My heart says.
5-0. Josh Emerson live.
Yeah, I wish. My heart says 2-1 Warrington, but I'd take a 1-1. I could see it being a draw 1-1.
When was the last time Warrington lost at home?
At home? Oh,
That
Is-
was to
Matlock.
no, we must have lost at home since then.
Is it that far back?
In the
No.
league, yeah, because
I
obviously we
don't think
lost
we've
against Southport, but
Yeah,
that
we've,
didn't
only,
cut.
lost twice at home. We've only lost
yeah.
twice at home all season, and
It was Matlock, and that was our first game.
Yeah, Matlock, yeah.
yeah. So when we started the project in
Yeah,
style,
we
first
started-
game losing to 19th place, Matt.
But honestly, if I'd say, I can see a 1-0 win to us.
I know,
Just- I feel like, obviously, if we get out the gates, it'll be a proper grinding out. Like you'll never see so much. It'll be it'll be a good game, a very good game.
About saying as well, this weekend for the home game, if anyone's listening who likes a little sing song at the game, I wanna hear the Joshua Miss chant going. And you can check it out on Cantilever _chat on Twitter. You know, if you want just a little refresher of the words, we want the place popping off.
What is it again?
You can check Twitter for that, mate.
Right, so that was the Cantilever chat. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you later.